Do you have the Rona? It's so hot. I'm standing in front of the freezer and the fridge. Moments away from letting the clutch out here in Q1. Time to swap motors. Good morning. It is 7:30. I have to be downstairs to meet the rest of the guys in like 30 minutes. Today is going to be the first day I've driven my car since before Corona. Today would also be the first day of qualifying at a normal race. However, today is going to be testing. They don't ever let us test within like a week of the event at the same track. And so now they do, because, well, Corona. Gonna head out to the track, you know, sweat today. It's gonna be hot. Make some test runs, and I absolutely can't wait to be back in the car. So gonna get ready, get dressed, get out there. Alright, so just got everything unloaded and we're really pretty much ready to make a run. We already have all of the right gear ratios and everything, car serviced. Gonna put it in the air, warm it up, and then we actually have to chill it. So we warm the engine up, set the valve springs, the valve lash and everything, and then we actually run ice water through the engine, and that's what chills it down. We try to get it down to around like 45 degrees or so. That way, whenever we get up to make a run, the engine is absolutely as cold as possible. So we're gonna get all that knocked out and go make a lap. Suited up, changed, about to go up for our first pass. And if you ask, what did I bring for my competitors this weekend? I brought them something. Ready out. I'm ready. We're rolling. Okay. One-way ticket to Pound Town. Come on.
You're scaring me.
Sweet mask.
So scared. This?
Yeah.
Walmart.
All right. Literally moments away now from letting the clutch out. This is the first official test pass. Like I said, usually this would be qualifying, but you can see out of the window here, there's nobody in the stands. This place is totally empty. And today is just gonna be testing. So we get 2 rounds of qualifying tomorrow. It's kind of weird though, because tomorrow it's supposed to be much hotter. The track will be hotter, the air will be worse, the cars won't run really even close to how they are today. But we're just gonna make a couple passes, make sure everything's good, and probably call it a day here. Alright, so first run went really well for about 9/10 of a second. After that, well, these are parts of the valve train. That's what about $40,000 looks like. Found this right at the top of the intake. Just laying right there in the throttle body. Can't show you the rest of the intake, that's the top secret stuff right there. But time to swap motors, but check it. Got a new one, ready to roll. So within just a few minutes,
We got the engine out. If we're like really hustling like between rounds, we can actually swap motors entirely in less than 30 minutes. Everything's quick disconnect, and the thing is that if you hurt a motor in the race and you win the round, you have to get it turned around and get back up there. But check out the attention to detail here. And if this stuff looks this good on the outside, it typically looks even better on the inside, except with this one scenario here. Who do you know that has their very own stamp? This actually came from Christian. He used to travel a lot to China for work and asked me if I'd send him a picture of my face. That's what I sent him, and ended up with my own stamp. So long live Christian. Getting ready to go. We've got time to do one more test run today. I wanted to show you what the inside of the car looks like with all of the tin work and everything in it. And I went through this before, but I'll show you again how the transmission works. So that's first gear. You can see how it pushes on that rod there. And whenever I shift, I don't have to push the clutch in or lift off the gas or anything. It literally slams into every gear. So that's first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And you can tell that every time you push it, a different lever there moves. And then one of the other little secrets is, you see on my helmet here how I've got these blinders. What those are for is basically the exact same reason that like a horse would have them. So that the thing is like, say you're racing like a red car or a yellow car, and they're right beside you, and you catch just like a tiny glimpse of that color out of the corner of your eye, you're really prone to want to look over and like judge where you are in relationship to the car that's next to you. So that's why a lot of people have their visors completely taped up where you can't see anything side to side. So one little interesting fact, now you know. All right, it's day 2 in Indy, and the pressure's stacking up a little bit now because now every run that we make absolutely counts. We've got 2 rounds of qualifying today. I didn't send an update yesterday after our last run because we got the car completely ready, pulled up through the lanes, and they shut it down and we didn't get to run, and I was angry. But I think we'll be all right. So car's ready to roll, headed to the track, and see what kind of numbers we can put up on the board. All right, moments away. Oh, there's the moments away from letting the clutch out here in Q1. So far, I've had a couple of my teammates make the runs. Bruno, this is his first time in a long time in a pro stock car, and he did not get staged in time, got timed out. Things like that happen, and just goes to show that this stuff is not easy, man, and there's a lot to it. So fingers crossed that mine goes all right too. So after Q1, we are sitting number 8. Made a pretty decent run. The car was kind of moving around on the racetrack going down. That scrubs speed off, you know. Obviously the shortest distance in 2 points is in a straight line, and so if you're having to, you know, move the steering wheel quite a bit, giving a lot of inputs going down the track, it's gonna slow you down. So we're about maybe 0.02 of a second behind right now. Not bad, and definitely can improve on that. However, right at about 1,000 foot, when we're running, you know, getting up to 200 miles an hour, the splitter on the front of the car came off, and you can see that it got pretty mangled. Luckily it didn't pop the tire or anything, and we do have an extra one. Some of these racetracks are bumpy and they're only held on, those splitters are only held on by rivets, and so over time those rivet heads just kind of get thinner and thinner, and that was the time that it finally just let loose. But we should have another one right here.
It was, if they didn't take
Yep,
it
it's
out.
right there behind the air bottle.
Got it?
So we'll pop that on, service the motor, build the trans, service the clutch, and be back up for Q2 here soon. All right, well, I spoke too soon. The splitter did get into the tire, and I'm gonna consider this a very lucky situation, because that could have been absolutely catastrophic at 200 and something miles an hour. So we squeezed by on that one. Unfortunately, that's about $1,200 worth of tires that have like 3 runs on them, and they're junk now. Car's on the ground, ready for Q2. All right, we qualified 8th. The conditions for the first round of qualifying were a lot better than the second. The track was hotter, the air was hotter, the air was worse, and with these things being naturally aspirated, that makes a world of a difference. So my best run was, let's see, Alex Laughlin, 665 with an 8, so that's 6.658 at 205 miles per hour. So the way it works is number 1 qualifier races number 16 to 15, 3, 14 until 8 and 9 meet in the middle. I'm qualified 8th, so I'll race number 9. I have lane choice, and there were 21 cars here on the property today. So qualifying 8th isn't our strongest performance, but overall, and considering how many competitors there are this weekend, that's not bad. Plus we have lane choice. At the end of the day, a lot of these races are won and lost completely on reaction time, and so the fact that we're literally just barely less than 0.02 of a second slower than the number 1 qualifier, that just proves that it's literally anybody's race to win. So tomorrow's race day, I'll see you there. All right, it's time. They've called us up for first round. Car's on the ground, we're ready to go. We've got to turn on 4 win lights to win the race. So all we can do is our absolute best, 1 round at a time. And right now it's Derek Kramer. Hopefully we've got what it takes to beat him. We'll know soon. First round, got the W. Like I said before, a lot of these races are completely won or lost literally by who moves their left foot first. This time I was a little bit ahead. I was 0.38 on the tree to Derek's 0.55, and we still ran faster than him also, so I think we outran him 0.04 or so, complete margin of victory to the finish line. With that said, we qualified 8th and 9th, right? So we were only separated by qualifying times by 0.04 of a second. So we basically had extremely even race cars. We're literally talking 0.04 of a second. So one of the bad things about qualifying right in the middle of the pack like that, 8 and 9, is because if you do win first round, second round you get the winner of number 1 and number 16. So it looks like we're going to be taking on number 1 qualifier, Jason Line. For the longest time, he was the only pro car in Pro Stock that I've never beat, and ever since I beat him, I don't think I've lost to him since. So fingers crossed. It's a pretty good draw, even though he's number 1 and he's quicker. But again, anything can happen. Whoever moves their left foot first is likely to win second round. So I'll keep you tuned. We'll be back soon. All right, we're back to the pit. The second round was not as good as the first round. I had Jason by 300ths on reaction time, so I was a long ways ahead, you know, even going down to half track. But after I plugged fifth gear, peeked over, he was pulling on me and he got to the finish line first. With that said, the conditions were not great. The track was hot, the air isn't that great, and he posted the quickest time of the entire weekend with his second run pass. Mine, however, I went 6:67, which is the worst run that we've made all weekend. So we think that we hurt the motor or something. There may be a little bit more to it, but all in all, we went a couple rounds, got some extra points, and you know, the purse check was a little bit more. So all in all, not a terrible weekend, not the best, not the worst, but I've still got a couple of teammates that are still in, Jag and Erica, and we've got a good shot at, you know, one of those cars getting into the finals. So I'm gonna hang out, support them till the race is over, and for now, we'll call it a weekend. Thanks for following along. My first vlog ever. I appreciate everybody that's watched. I'm gonna keep doing these. For this first one, I know that I had to teach you a little bit about Pro Stock and the details of the category. Those are the basics. There's a whole lot more that goes into it. So keep following along and I'll start getting into the nitty-gritty of what makes these cars do exactly what they do. So stay tuned. Thanks again, and I'll see you at the next one. What is that? It's poop.
Very realistic looking shit right there, though. Dude.